Outstanding. Welcome aboard of the Love Boat. For the movie lovers, we're gonna talk about movies this time. Usually, I talk about London, where I live, work, and study because I love this city. And secondly, I talk about the place where I'm from, Eastern Europe, Hungary, what's going on there on a daily basis because there's always something. But today, we are going to talk about movies. It's been a very long time. I spent my afternoon talking about movies. I don't know why. Probably there's so many of them because of the streaming, and it's so easy. You have your phone, you download Netflix and Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and all the other ones, Peacock, and then you just watch it. And there's so many of them. It's not there's a completely missing that factor when you need to wait for years or months to be able to see something. I really miss that time. Today we're gonna talk about the Superman movie. We're gonna pass by the Shard. At one point it was the tallest building in Europe. Right on the top there is a statue of Superman just hanging. You cannot see it. I don't know what was the point, but okay. Probably they got the idea of Tom Cruise when he was promoting his latest movie. He climbed up to the top of the on the top of the IMAX cinema at Waterloo. That was pretty cool because so many people saw it. But the Shard, this glass skyscraper, it's just way too tall, so no one can actually see it except I don't know if you use helicopter to go to work at home. Few years ago, I thought I'm going to move back to Hungary. I went to southern Hungary where I have no family members and basically no friends except one. And we wanted to open basically a club for American comics fans. And we sat down and talked on the first day when I arrived from the airport. I was flying from London, UK to Hungary, and we sat down for an absolutely amazing burger. I still remember the taste, it was fantastic. And of course, our friendship is based on American comic books, and we talked about Superman movies. And I said, I have not seen the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and he was shocked. Growing up in Hungary, if I need to do a top list, the main one for the printed out comics, that is basically like 32 pages. So not the collector edition, which looks like a book with 100 plus pages. So this one that comes out every single month, or in Hungary, sometimes every second month. The bestseller was obviously Spider-Man and the cat who loves lasagna, Garfield. And basically that's it. In a comic book format, printed out comic book format that comes out every month, in Hungary, they could only sell Spider-Man. Apart from that came the X-Men. It ran very, very long time. Those ones, written by Chris Claremont, who actually came for the Budapest Comic Con this summer, 2025. This summer, Chris Claremont was in Budapest. And I was working that weekend, and on the Facebook I saw that everyone posting pictures of with the Chris Claremont and their copies of printed out comic books with the signature of Chris Claremont, and I was just crying. I was at work, and I do volunteer work as well, so I was at my volunteer work as well. I was crying there as well. And after that, there was almost no tears left to cry. I really wanted to be there in Budapest Comic Con. Oh my God. Back to the Superman movie. So after Christopher Reeves, it was Henry Cavill. I actually watched Man of Steel in the cinema, and I thought it was pretty violent. And after that, if it's like constantly, it's like extremely violent and stuff like I did not like the movie. I absolutely appreciate how much energy and creativity they put in the movie so they would look like a comic book. But I personally like a well balanced movie with good humor, with family scenes. In a Superman, he's a journalist, so they have the office and all that stuff, and everything was missing from that. For example, when I think about the vampire movie, the iconic Twilight, the first scene that comes to my mind when absolutely nothing's happening, they just play baseball. I like when it has little bit of everything, not just constantly, bashing each other. 2 hours of fight scene. But as I said, I appreciate the effort. For me, it was absolutely unclear why they made the creative decision for the sequel that he is already meeting with Batman and all the other characters. No, I did not like that. So I actually didn't watch Superman and Batman. And then I think on stream I watched the Justice League, which made no sense. But I had no expectation because I knew that they switched directors. Okay, now we need to stop here for a moment because I registered for Netflix. I decided not to do it, but then because of the Titans, I registered for Netflix. Later on, I canceled it because I only wanted to watch Titans. But while I was there, I decided to try other TV serials. And then I saw this guy. And I said, oh my God, he looks like Superman. The vibe, his aura, the way how he moves, the way how he looks at people, and his presence in the room. I said, even if he doesn't put on a single gram of extra muscle, he would be a good Superman. And then later on, I heard that James Gunn decided to have him cast him as Superman, and I was like, oh my God, yes. Streaming, social media, and so many other things is basically killing Hollywood and the old studio system. But to make a Superman movie, which obviously like super expensive, we need the studio system. So for me, this July is absolutely a historical moment, a historical month. I have not seen the movie yet, but the stills, the pictures, the teasers, what I saw from James Gunn's Superman, the very first thing I noticed is the colors. Absolutely amazing job on the colors. Because he needs to differentiate from the Marvel movies. Because there's like 5 Marvel movies coming out every single week, causing what they call the superhero fatigue. And oh my God, I so want James Gunn's Superman movie to be like a reboot for not just for the superhero movies, but like for whole Hollywood. I was born and raised in Hungary in Eastern Europe, but I have family members both on my mother's side and father's side in the USA. And the family in New York, they always send me a box of comic books for birthday and Christmas and all that. So I have a very special connection to comic books, American comic books. And I would never compare DC, the big two, DC and Marvel. I would never compare them because they are so absolutely different. As it should be. But what DC needs is a good standalone Superman movie because that should be the base. When I compare comic books to novels, one of the most important things is how they depict community, how the crowd reacts to a person like Superman. In his case, obviously, is the city metropolis. Obviously, in the comic books, you have plenty of time, endless time. Why in a movie, you have basically 2 hours, if you're lucky. I think Spider-Man movies, they did a very good job showing the people of New York how an average person would deal with this. And I think this is very important right now because every single week something happening in this work, recession, conflicts, oh my God, every single week, disaster after disaster. And if we could have a summer movie that resonates, oh my God, that would be so cool. I have high hopes for this movie because they not just need to make a good superhero movie, a Superman movie, but they need to understand what people want in 2025. So basically, they need to read the room, and that is not easy. Streaming can do that because they have the viewers' data. They have everything to make a good movie for stream. But to make a good movie for the cinemas, That is a whole different ball game. So good luck, James Gunn.